faculty to nominate a student member of the class to deliver the student address. And this year we're privileged to have one such student. And I've gotten to know this student over the year because she works in our office. And she is from Shanghai, China. She's a very engaging and a very intelligent young woman. Please welcome Ms. Lu Chen.
Thank you very much. Good evening, President Maloney, distinguished guests, fellow graduates, faculty and staff, and the members of the entire Worcester State University. On behalf of the graduating class, I welcome our families and friends who have come to celebrate with us this evening. It is a great honor for me to speak to you as a representative of the dedicated and the gifted class of 2013. I am an international student from Shanghai, China, so English is my second language. But don't worry, I have given many speeches in English. Back in Shanghai, when I was still learning English, I would give fantastic speeches in English to much applause from the audience. I know that the members of my audience really enjoy my English speeches a lot because immediately afterwards, they would always ask for the Chinese translation. Again, don't worry, I have the Chinese translation ready for today too. Congratulations, my fellow graduates. We are all going to be receiving diplomas today, our master's degree, the acknowledgement and the recognition of all the efforts we have made in the past 2 years. The joy and excitement of this moment makes the stresses and the hardship we have experienced in the past 2 years a distant memory. We should be proud. We have been diligent, and we all deserve to experience the joy of this moment. We're thankful for our families, friends, faculty, and the whole Worcester State University community for helping us to get to this point. Some of us work full-time and take care of our children while attending school. Others take care of their sick and elderly relatives, and others still, like me, are international students who are away from home and family. Despite our different circumstances, we can all agree that it has not been easy for any of us. But our determination, dedication, and desire for self-advancement as career professionals and as human beings has brought us to where we are now. We acknowledge that we couldn't have succeeded by ourselves. We honor our friends and families for their roles in our success. We recognize the insightful interactions amongst ourselves as peers in and out of class. We highly appreciate the great instruction and the mentorship of our professors, the invaluable support from the Division of Graduate and Continuing Education, International Programs Office, and the whole Worcester State University community. The joyful moment is a collective achievement. Thank you all for this moment. Quite often, we hear that education is a lifelong investment. Literally speaking, investment is a concept of finance and economics. However, investment implies more. I could not agree more with the statement that investing in yourself is the best investment you can make. It is true that personal growth is a lifelong business that we must all run. And education is the lifelong investment we should keep pursuing for attainment of that goal. This investment is very worthwhile. Our investments in the stock market can be lost in a split second, but knowledge that we acquire is never lost. Learning is a treasure that will follow its owner everywhere. Even when we do not use knowledge we acquire in school directly in our careers, there is always a way in which it ends up serving us and the societies that we live in. As a student in China, I grew up in a very competitive system. To be considered a good kid by both your family and culture, you had to be successful in school. I was lucky to be born in Shanghai, where educational resources are comparatively abundant and among the best in China. I was lucky to be able to get into a reputable middle school, high school, and then a reputable university to earn my bachelor's degree and to further advance my English language skills. And I consider myself very lucky to be a graduate student at Worcester State University. I believe that to expose oneself to a different culture is a very important part of education. I have enjoyed the spirit of cooperation that I have experienced in my graduate classes. The group projects and discussions provided me with opportunities to work and to learn from others and for them to learn from me. I learned a very important lesson about the advantage of cooperation over competition. For example, it is really helpful to have the math guy in your financial management group. I have also enjoyed open classroom discussions, group presentations, and the seminars of the American classroom. I have even learned to jump right into the discussion without first having to raise my hand. It has been a challenging yet rewarding experience. Importantly, my educational experience at Worcester State University has also been outside the classroom. Whether it is volunteering in a kindergarten class or at a food pantry with my classmates, I have learned through service and have had fun along the way. Watching President Obama's inauguration on TV from Shanghai in 2009, I would never, in my wildest dreams, have imagined that I would witness in person the president's second inauguration in 2013. Thanks to Worcester State, I did. Truly, Worcester State University has been a great educational experience. Since education is a lifelong investment, what then is the ultimate goal of such an investment? A successful career is the obvious answer, but it's not enough of an answer. As we reach higher levels of education, we must shift our goals and focus gradually from ourselves to the world around us. As a Chinese national, I'm very proud of the progress that China has made as it established its place in the global market. Globalization has brought about many good things to the world. Indeed, as a result of globalization, and as I found out in my thesis project, many Chinese students now study in the United States. But even as I applaud progress that has been made and the wonderful opportunities that have emerged, my education has taught me to dig deeper, to be more empathetic, to go outside myself, to think about the less fortunate. I can therefore not help but think about over 1,000 people who died recently in a garment factory in Bangladesh, manufacturing products for major labels, and the slaughter of diamond miners in South Africa. We must ask ourselves whether we want to accept such tragedies as the inevitable result of progress. Can we do better? I think we can. We can try to stand in others' shoes to understand their feelings and needs. The value of being more knowledgeable and educated is the ability to have a say in the world for yourself and for those who cannot speak for themselves. We should understand that the current global system, while seeking efficiency, is far from perfect. A typical example, which has been a frequently mentioned topic in my classes, is the Made in China phenomenon. It is a pure economic topic if you only categorize the people behind the machine as labor. But they are not just cheap labor. They are ordinary, hard-working people just like us, devoting themselves to work for a better life for their families. We are living in a world of diversity. Globalization has made us so interdependent with each other that exchanges in cultural, economic, and the political fields are not only recommended, they are now unstoppable. Educational exchanges are an effective vehicle in cultivating the empathy and the mutual understanding. The past 2 years as an international student in the United States have substantially enhanced my understanding of this country. Much different and more insightful than what I used to learn from the news, movies, and the books. The experience has brought about fulfillment and refreshed my mind. I therefore encourage my peers to experience more such exchanges and exposure to other cultures whenever there is a chance to do so. Exposure to different sources of information brings about magical changes inside a person. When we receive information from the same sources, we unconsciously build up stereotypes. We start believing that there is only one truth, our truth. But there is never just one truth. When we receive information from multiple sources with different perspectives, we get closer to the real truth and are more impartial in making judgments. This is a very interesting exploratory process. I have experienced that often in my graduate classes. My American classmates and the students from other countries of origin brought different perspectives on the same topic and the same issue. Some views deemed as common sense by some students turned out to be completely new to others. And that is exactly the beauty of sharing and interacting with people from different backgrounds. There is an old Chinese saying by Confucius, "Teaching is learning, and the learning is teaching." Without a doubt, my experience in the American classroom has now fully illustrated this Chinese saying to me. Success is never final, and failure is never fatal. It is courage that counts. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. My dear fellow graduates, let's keep following our hearts, keep the passions for our life and work, have guts, stay energetic, and always be ready to embrace surprises. In closing, let me wish all of you here a very happy graduation and every success in the years ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Diane. At this time,